favorite time of the week one more time. It's live, and it's in the interest of the people. They're going to make you laugh, and they'll even make you mad enough to chew nails. Either way, they have you tuned in. So sit back in that easy chair and get close to a phone, because you can call and talk to them. You better get you something to drink, because you may need it also. Take it away, guys.
We're happy you're here with us tonight, and I think you'll be happy when the show's over, because we have a lot of information for you that's going to help you on the tax day.
We hope it helps. How can you say it's going to help you when you're having to pay taxes?
Oh, I think I've already paid enough.
What to say? The government man come out and said, "I'm here to help you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to fire him.
We do have a good program. We're going to have Mr. David Milam with us in just a few moments. He's has his office, has had his office in Atlanta, Georgia for a while. He's from Talladega, out at on the suburbs burning station, I guess you might say. And he's just opened up an office here in Talladega, so it's another new business for our city. And we'll be talking to David in just a moment. Also, we're going to have Mr. Bill McGee on the phone in just a few seconds, talking about he is, I wouldn't say he's completely retired, but he's turned the Talladega Insurance Agency business over to his son, and we're going to be talking with Bill in just a moment. Also, Judge Peggy Miller Locker was sworn in Friday as circuit judge in Calhoun County. Now she can be sworn at for the next 4 or 5 years.
Like
She's been sworn in, so she'll be sworn at. And we're going to have her on the phone in just a few minutes, talking to her briefly. So much going on in our program. We're going to hurry and get through with it so we can talk with our guest. I might point out to you, I got an email from Max Morris, longtime resident of Talladega for years. He went on to be a national evangelist, living in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I got an email from him today that says, "Larry Goss." Of course, you that follow gospel music through the years, the Goss brothers, Larry was a sacred gospel music legend, went home to be with the Lord Saturday, January the 10th. He was a very dear friend of our family. This is Max talking. He said, "I was honored to work with Larry on several occasions, recording projects. He was an icon in sacred gospel music. He was so talented and gifted, he was also willing to help others. He suffered cancer for several years. He requested prayer and wanted prayer partners to pray for him. Unfortunately, the prayer didn't work in the fact that he remained on this earth." And Max is saying, please pray for his wife, Carol, and their children. Larry Goss of the Goss brothers is deceased. We've got, don't forget Rehab First, one of our long-term sponsors. Any kind of rehab you could possibly need, they're there for you. They're open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. They take care of anything you could possibly need. You got private rooms, 24-hour RN coverage, wound care certified staff, orthopedic service, restorative therapy, hospice care, anything you could possibly need in the line of rehab, they have it 24/7. And as we've shared with you so many times, they're there to stay in business, and they have to make a profit, certainly. But they're also there to make sure you get the best service possible. They don't let you come in and stay 21 days and lay in the bed and then go home. They get you up the first day you're there, if you're there for rehab, trying to get you well so you can go back home and be productive and get back home so you can walk the dogs and cook and whatever you need to do. But as Rehab First at McGuff Healthcare in Gaston, we'll be talking about them a little bit later on. Just a moment, we're going to Bill McGee. But Mr. Engineer, do we have that picture of Bemiston of 1932? Can we show that on the screen? Mr. Gunner sent me this. This is a picture of some Bemiston ladies and gentlemen who worked in the spinning department in 1932. And I would read you these names if I could. In my younger days, I didn't have no problem reading that small print. But let me see if I can see through Charlotte's glasses here. Mr. Charles Atwood, I'm not in any order. Zara Sexton, Charlie Huckabee, looks like Hazel Chapel. I know it's Hazel. Frank Horn, I knew Mr. Ted Anderson. He ran a grocery store and a service station down on Fort Lashley for years. Alma Browning, John Will Osborne, knew Mr. Osborne, went to church with him for many years. Irene Morris, Horace Wright, Rita Burdette, Miss Ollie Sexton, knew Mr. Grady Williams. Anyway, Miss Lucille Shropshire looks like, Pat Shropshire. This was some spinners in 1932. I appreciate Mr. Gunner sending me this picture. And if any of you out there have any old pictures from, I think Bemiston opened up in 28 or 29. Dad came here from Georgia about that time and started working at Bemiston. So anyone has any pictures of Bemiston or Weehadkee or any of the companies through the years that has been the backbone of our city for so long, if you'll send them to me, just send them to mayorbarton@aol.com. We would love to share these older pictures with our audience. Also, Mr. Engineer, can you pull up the Bemiston R.L. Young? There it is. I got an email here from Miss Patty Thomas, who is the principal, and she says, "Hi, Bemistonians. I'm the principal of R.L. Young Elementary. Our school is so fortunate to have that wonderful full-size stage in the auditorium that is used constantly. The curtains need to be replaced due to some dry rotting. I have a quote of $3,000, which includes labor and installation. This is a great price, but it will not be in place forever. If you would like to make a tax-deductible contribution for the purpose, it would be greatly appreciated." And as a former student at R.L. Young, of course, we knew it as Bemiston School at that time. Mayor and I are going to give a contribution, and we would encourage all the folks that have gone to Bemiston School through the years to contact Miss Patty Thomas and help her replace these curtains. If you've ever been in the school there, they got a beautiful auditorium, and the stage is just second to none. And I would appreciate if you would give a donation. If you can't give it $10, $50, whatever you can give. I know Miss Patty would appreciate this, and we can get those curtains up. That's R.L. Young and Bemiston, formerly known as Bemiston School. A lot of people have gone to school there through the years, and we appreciate Miss Patty Thomas and all the good job all the teachers and everybody's doing. So if you want to give a contribution, I know that they would appreciate it. Let's see if we can get Mr. McGee on the phone here. Mr. Bill McGee. Mr. Bill.
Hey.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Good. If you're watching your screen, TV, there you are.
Okay.
On the computer, like you're doing something other.
That's right.
And then to the right is the person who is taking over Talladega Insurance Agency, if I understand it right.
That's correct. I made Boyd president of Talladega Insurance Agency on Christmas Day last year.
I don't know. Was that
took over as president January 1.
That's quite an honor to succeed president. I know. How long y'all been in business, Billy?
Well, the agency was founded in 1847 by James G.L. Huey. But my family became involved in it. It was at that time called Talladega Insurance Company, and when my grandfather purchased the agency, it became known as Talladega Insurance Agency, and that was back in the late 20s, early 30s. And then my father came in in 1974, I came in, and Boyd actually came in 2004. So he's been there for about 11 years, going on 12, and I'm really proud of him and what he's been able to accomplish in the past few years.
Bill, you have every right to be proud of Boyd, your son, and your daughter-in-law. They're both involved heavily in the community, in the civic city. They're just doing a great job, and I know that you're leaving your business in capable hands. I'm sure you're going to be close by, looking over his shoulder. You're not going to just leave town.
No, I'm still going to be there. I had a friend who's had a son working for him, and he passed away unexpectedly. And the son was a really good agent, but he hadn't had time to run the agency, and so I wanted to be there to help him any way I could. But Boyd is firmly in charge of the agency. I'm there as as to give advice and that kind of thing when asked for.
Right. I saw Boyd. The way I found out about this, I saw Boyd Friday night down at Piggly Wiggly, and as I come out, he said, "Say hello." Told the little girl in the back seat. He said, "Say hello to the mayor." And he had his daughter, and I'm not sure who the other little young lady was. I heard it might be one of the dentists in town's daughter. And he said, "Tell him where we're going." They said, "We're going to go camp out." I said, "Get out of here." I mean, it's about 20 degrees.
The night before last, when it was the coldest night of the year.
Yeah, they said, "We go." I said, "Where are you going to camp out?" They said, "We're going out to Top Trails." I said, "You going to freeze to death?" They said, "No, we got our sleeping bags and so forth." I understand they was camping out in an RV. Really roughing it.
I tell you what, I wouldn't want to camp out in an RV. I was perfectly happy with my heat on in my house with the covers over my head. It was a little too cold for me.
Yeah.
Bill, I appreciate you. Y'all, is your company the oldest in the state?
We're, as far as we know, the oldest in the state, and according to the National Independent Agents Association, we're the third oldest agency in the United States.
And y'all can write coverage on, a lot of insurance companies can only write certain type coverages, but I understand that you are designed that you can write about any kind of coverage on anything.
Well, Boyd can. This point, I'm the consultant. He's the one that'll write it for you.
I understand, but you're geared up though that you represent enough people that you can.
Yeah, we can do. We've done everything from a fishing tournament to if you caught the fish, you won $100,000. To back when Bill Elliott was having his run, Kentucky Fried Chicken had a statewide thing. If you could guess what his qualifying speed was, we would give away $100,000. That was another promotion Kentucky Fried Chicken had, and somebody came within 1,000th of a second of guessing it. And I imagine the insurance company at that point had a little heartburn.
Bill, I appreciate you and the wife and her involvement in the community. Also, I appreciate the fact of your involvement with the Ritz Theater, one of the greatest things we've got going in our city and in the county. And it's thanks to you and George Culver and so many supporters and board members that has got us where we are with the Ritz Theater. And I can't thank you enough for what all you've done.
Well, I sure appreciate you calling, and I just want everybody to know how proud I am of Boyd and what he's accomplished in the past few years.
In the next few weeks, if we can, we'd like to get you on here on one of our programs. It's Talladega, and let's just talk about the McGee's through the years.
We'd love to do that.
Thank you, sir. Have a good and happy New Year.
Thank you.
Same to you. Goodbye.
Bill McGee has turned Talladega Insurance Agency over to Boyd in very capable hands. We got to go to a break in just a second. Have we got the old path pulled up yet? Emma, you got it? The old path. The singing group. They're going to be in concert at the First Baptist Church in Ashland. Shotgun called and said, would you please announce this? It's going to be next Saturday night, January the 17th, at the First Baptist Church in Ashland. The Old Path Quartet has been voted the new traditional quartet of the year with 4 #1 hit songs. It's free admission, but they get you in the church and they lock the door and you can't get out till you get, no, that's not true. A love offering will be taken. If we can show just a dab of the Old Path right quick, I've never heard them if I'm aware of it, but Shotgun says they're good.
The Lord of Lords and the King of Kings is going to return, and he'll set up his throne, and he'll rule and reign as only he can reign. I say, let him reign. Long live the King.
On Calvary's cross, a sign proclaimed that he was king. While he hung there suffering, they mocked his name.
This is the Old Path Quartet. We'll be in concert January the 17th. That's next Saturday night at 6 p.m. at the First Baptist Church in Ashland, voted new traditional quartet of the year. And Shotgun get in. This is where Shotgun's a member of the church. They've not thrown him out yet. Been there for about 40 years. And Shotgun sang with us for many years. And he's always promoting groups. This group, the Old Path, will be there this coming Saturday night. Free admission. A love offering will be taken. Thank you, Mr. Engineer. We've got to go to a break, and we'll be back with our guests in just a little bit.
Planning a get-together, sporting event, or special occasion, let CG's help make the event more enjoyable. CG's can advise you on a favorite champagne or special wine imported from all over the world, as well as from New York and California. Perhaps you'd rather choose a muscadine wine from Alabama. CG's also has a nice selection of the latest in stemless wine glasses or champagne and water glasses. Only at CG's can you obtain your favorite imported beer, party supplies, mixes, and a variety of nuts. By the way, don't forget a gift for your favorite hostess. Visit CG's, conveniently located in Talladega at the corner of Howard and West.
A death is a troubling time for any family. Talladega Funeral Home offers dignity, respect, professionalism, commitment, and fairness to all families in need. We listen carefully. We know that some of us find great comfort in traditions, and we work tirelessly to honor those traditions. Our professional team gets to know each and every family member to help each and every individual remember, share, and ultimately move towards healing. Contact Brittany Boozer at Talladega Funeral Home today, 256-362-0111. Talladega Funeral Home. We care because every life has a story.
Have you tried one of these? It's so good. Man, I can't believe we haven't done this before. Oh, wow, look at that.
On a bike. Your agent. Do the jingle. Do the jingle.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, guys.
Do it again. Do it again. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In my office.
State Farm.
I think we're good.
State Farm agents are there when you need them.
I never cease to be amazed at this commercial, and I've said many times, if we could just put Doug Kemp's picture on that face and Doug rise up in the back seat, that would be terrible. Don't forget Mr. Leon Nix, a friend of mine in Birmingham. Leon was a long-time businessman here in Tyler. He ran Food Town for many years. He had a birthday recently, 93, 94, I don't recall exactly what he said. And Miss Gabriel, I hope I'm pronouncing it, Miss Gloria Zog, Z-A-U-G-G, is a personal friend of Mr. Leon, and they watch our program every week. I was supposed to mention this last week, but I didn't do it. I messed up, and I apologize, but we got it on tonight. Mr. Leon Nick's birthday, and Miss Gloria Zog is always watching. Also, Mr. Jerome Barkley and Miss Shaquana Barkley. I hope I didn't mess that name up. S-H-A-Q-O-N-I-A, Barkley. They say they never miss our program. They're always watching it. And we promised we'd call her name last week, and I screwed up again. Charlotte's supposed to keep me straight, but sometimes she messes up. I got to blame it on somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Judge Peggy Miller Locker, are you there, ma'am?
I am, Larry. How are you today?
I am fine. It is an honor to be able to talk to you as a judge. We talked to you many times about a candidate for judge, and we've talked to you about a judge-elect. Tonight we're able to talk to you, and there's your picture on the screen, and you can see it Tuesday night on Cable One. But we've got a picture of you on the screen standing in front of the Great Seal of Alabama, and you're a beautiful judge. And I hope that's not a sexist remark, but you are a beautiful judge. And,
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And personality plus. No wonder people saw fit to elect you. And not only that, you're smart. So you've got all the characteristics of being a good judge.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. My first official day of office is January the 19th.
January the 19th?
I did get sworn in on Friday.
How about that? I told them a while ago, I said, we're going to have Judge Locker on here, and she was sworn in Friday, and she'll be sworn in for the next 6 years.
You're right. I'm sure that's accurate.
I don't believe that'll happen. I know you through the years, and I've had many people tell me that whether they always agree with you in court or not, you've always been fair, and you've always done what you're supposed to do. And when a person stands up and does what they're supposed to, even though you might not agree with them, you have to respect them for their character and for their ability to do what is right. And I appreciate you as a judge, coming in as a judge. I think Calhoun County and Cleveland County is fortunate to have you and Judge Jones and all the other judges up there. I think the folks up there have seen fit through the years to start cleaning house and getting some good qualified folks in office. And I know you will do a great job.
I think we've got a great bench right now. I think our judiciary in Calhoun and Cleveland County is awesome.
I agree, and you got a DA second to none up there.
You're right. Brian McVeigh, the DA, he's as good as there's ever been, and,
right.
and I think he does an excellent job.
Judge, I know you're tired. Are you going to go to anywhere and take a vacation and try to rest up before you get in office, or you already done all that?
I've already done that. That's what my family decided we were going to do, memories instead of pictures, or instead of presents this year, and we went on a cruise right around Christmas time.
Fantastic.
We knew we probably wouldn't be able to get a vacation in the next year or so. We wanted to go ahead and do it before I took office.
Judge, I recognize the fact through the years and even now that there's sometimes police officers can't say things they'd love to say. I realize that folks in your position can't always talk about cases and so forth, but I want you to know that you and the district attorney and any of the judges up there always have an invitation to be on my program, either by phone or on the camera, and talk about anything you possibly can legally talk about, or if you've got something other coming up that you're going to be wanting to share with the folks, you're always welcome.
Well, I appreciate that. The main thing I wanted to say right now is thank you to you and to the voters and all my supporters. I am just so pleased to have this opportunity to be able to serve the citizens of Calhoun and Cleveland County. And I'm looking forward to taking office and doing everything as best I can.
Well, I know you'll do a good job, Judge, and I have to thank you for returning phone calls. That's been a pet peeve with me through my years in office. So often elected officials don't see fit to return phone calls. You've always returned my phone call, and I appreciate that. And I don't think you'll change, because I called you this morning early, got you out of bed. Actually,
you didn't get me out of bed, got me out of the shower.
Actually, I got the answering machine, and you returned my call, and I appreciate that.
I sure did.
But any way we can help you, Judge, we're out here for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Larry. I appreciate what you do. Your show is a very good, very well-informed, fair show, and I appreciate what you do.
Thank you, Judge. Happy New Year to you and the family and all the folks up there.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Judge Peggy Miller-Locker, the new judge in Calhoun County. She'll do a great job. Have a caller. Hello, sir or ma'am. I'm not sure who I got here.
I'm a sir.
Okay. What can I do for you, sir?
Yes. I got a comment about the police department.
Okay.
The police department.
Okay.
Yes. I work at the Talladega Health Department. I'm a janitor there at night, and I'll be in there all the time, man. And I'll be out taking the trash out, and they come in there and ask me what I'm doing. Plus, and I have a trash can with me, and I have a badge on it, the badge like they wear, and it's be messing with me. I want to. Can you do anything about it?
Let me see.
Because I've been there 11 years, man. They've been doing that since I've been working there. And my girlfriend, she's from North Alabama, and she came to cops in Russellville, Alabama. And they're not supposed to be doing that, man. If they know who I am, you know what I'm saying?
Who do you work for?
I work for the Talladega Health Department, Talladega Public Health in Talladega.
Talladega Public Health.
Yes.
That's
I've
down on.
I've been working there for 11 years, man. I've been there since 2004.
Is that up on South Street, across from the school?
You know what community college is?
Yes, across from the street there.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be working there, and they come by, and I'll be taking the trash. Like I said, I'll be taking the trash out. And I have my trash can with me, man. They still haven't what I'm doing. I have a badge. They made me a badge, so they know what they know who I am. They still don't believe what I'm saying.
Let me ask you a question. When the policemen come up there, we got a lot of new police officers in town, and I'm not taking up for them, but I'm going to explain something to you. But I will pass this on to the chief. But when the policemen come up and talk to you, do you know who they are?
I know one of them.
No. Every time one of them comes up and talks to you and checks you out, do you know who they are?
One of them, I know who one of them is.
What about the rest of them?
My point.
That's okay.
Gary.
My point.
I think his name Nelson or something like that. He's a sergeant.
My point I'm trying to make is you don't know them, so why should they know you? If they're new, why should they know who you are? They don't know where you someone scamming. They don't know where you just picked up a trash can, got a fake badge. They don't know. And if you're not doing anything illegal, why would you care for them checking you out and making sure that the community is safe? We got a lot of burglaries and stuff going on, and I'd rather them challenge you, no, not challenge you, but just say, sir, who are you? When you tell them who you are, do they harass you? Do they do anything else?
Well, see, I was there one time before, and I was the one that called them. I called them to come out because there's some teenagers always starting stuff at the community college, and I called them, and they threw me on the ground, man. I was the one that called them and point guns at me.
But did they?
I wasn't doing that. I was in there just doing my job. They told me to come out the door, so I come out the door, and there's an old cop. I don't know his name, but he wouldn't let me see what his name was. I tried to see what his name was. He covered his name tag.
Yeah.
And there's a lady cop. I don't know if she's still with the police department. She had short hair, and then she pointed a gun at me too. I came out the door, but what I'm saying, I called them, but they did me like that, and I don't trust all this place anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Here again, do they know that you're the one that called when they came up there? How would they know?
I told them I was the one that called.
Yeah, I understand.
What I said, and I had that badge with me.
I understand.
I had a badge in my pocket. I don't wear it all the time. I stick it in my pocket.
But
The boss lady even told me I wear that.
What are you doing with a badge if you're not a certified officer?
Oh, it's a
His job.
ID badge. It's a picture with
Okay,
ID.
so it's a
okay. Charlie can play with health department.
I'm
You know
with
what
you.
I'm saying?
I'm with you. Well, I will pass this on to the chief, and maybe they just need to take you out to lunch one day with all the 40 police officers and introduce you to them, and you'll know who they.
It's got my name on it. Plus, it's got what I do there. Plus, it's got my picture on it. You know what I'm saying? Show what I look like. Show everybody what I look like.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing with us, but here again, we're having a lot of folks breaking and entering and stealing.
Yeah. Plus, I had the keys in my pocket, and they called one of the cops. He's the one that came out. Too tall. I don't know if you ever heard of him or not. That's what they call him. I don't know his real name. That's what we call him around. Too tall because he's kind of tall. And
that's probably why they call him too tall. He's sort of tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, the Sergeant Greg Nelson, I think it's now. That's what he told me his name was.
It sounds like you know him.
Somebody started cussing me out and stuff, man. He didn't even know me to cuss me out. I didn't cuss him, he cussed me first.
It sounds like y'all need to get acquainted with everybody so they'll know when they come up there who you are. But let me say this to you. You say you got all your keys in your pocket. If I were you, if a police officer shows up, be respectful. Don't get in no confrontation with him. Tell him who you are. Show him your badge. But don't reach in your pocket for your keys unless they authorize you, because they don't know where you're going for a gun or a knife or whatever. You need to be careful. I think we need some lessons in town how to relate to the police officer when they stop you. Don't get in no contest with them. They're there to make sure the property is protected. They're there to make sure that you're who you are. They don't know you. Some of them don't know you, Madam's house cat. I probably know you, but I don't know if I would know you up there in the dark.
My name is.
I know. That's okay. I don't need your name. I mean, that's okay. But I'm just saying, just because you know them doesn't necessarily mean they know who you are. And it's very important that you let them know up front that you work here, that you work here at nighttime, and don't get disrespectful. And I don't think they would treat you.
I don't do that, man. I don't get smart with them. They get smart with me first. And I don't appreciate somebody yelling at me. I'm finna be 50 years old, you know what I'm saying?
I understand, but do this. Next time that you have a call or you have a problem, if they're yelling at you and cussing at you, get their name and the time this incident happened, and you get it to me, and I can assure you I will pass it on to the chief. Now,
Ask the question.
Okay.
How'd you get to be mayor again?
Well, a lot of people ask that question.
Because you was in prison yourself, man.
I know it. A lot of people keep asking that question.
Yes.
The way I got elected mayor is the people voted for me. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It's voting.
Well, see, I work for a Klan service, and I have a quality Klan shirt on too, man. Because the company I work for gave it to me. The Tyler Health Department's got a Klan service to do it. I have a shirt on that says 2 quality Klans got it on the front and the back, man. Yeah. Now, plus I had a badge with me too in my billfold and stuff. And that's what I'm saying. That they still don't believe I work there, you know. And the boss there, her name's Darlene Bradford. She's the boss there. Mm-hmm. And they called her one day and asked her that. She told them, and they still don't believe what she's saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What I recommend you do is go down there one day in the daylight and get acquainted with all of them, shake hands with them, and tell them who you are. Well, I appreciate you calling.
Think about
okay, man. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Turn your TV down, please. Turn your TV down.
Hello?
Hello, turn your TV down, please, ma'am, so you can hear us.
Okay.
You got a question or a comment?
Yes.
Go ahead. Hello?
Yes.
Ma'am, go ahead. Speak. Folks, I bet I've told you this, 947 million in one time. Mm-hmm. When you call the program, we welcome your calls, and we'll take your call. We don't ask you who you are. You can talk about me going to prison. You can talk about anything you want to. Mm-hmm. But turn your TV down. You can't sit there and listen to us on TV.
Can't hear
and you're talking backwards and forth, and it don't work.
It don't work.
We got to go to a break before someone else accuses me of doing something other wrong. And when we come back, we're going to be talking to our guest, Mr. David Milam. Don't forget Stampede Restaurant. They're there from 10 o'clock in the morning. I guess it's 10 o'clock in the morning, 11, whenever they open up. Mm-hmm. I can't keep up with the time because I'm always there eating till about 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
they're 7 days a week. Hey, we love to eat at Stampede Restaurant. Mm-hmm. They always got good meals. They're there 47 days a week, and about anything you could possibly want. seafood, steaks, hamburgers, anything you possibly want. Seafood, Stampede Wrestling has got it. We appreciate them being one of our sponsors. We've got Miss Helen Hudgens passed away. Call Ursary Funeral Home for more details on the funeral arrangements. That's Helen Hudgens in Talladega. Ursary Funeral Home will be handling the funeral. Also, Mr. Larry Salster passed away, and Talladega Funeral Home will be handling this funeral. Helen Hudgens at Ursary and Larry Salster at Talladega Funeral Home. You can contact both funeral homes and they can tell you about this. Got to go to break, and we'll be back with Mr. David Milam. Be right back.
A get-together, sporting event, or special occasion, let CG's help make the event more enjoyable. CG's can advise you on a favorite champagne or special wine imported from all over the world, as well as from New York and California. Perhaps you'd rather choose a muscadine wine from Alabama. CG's also has a nice selection of the latest in stemless wine glasses or champagne and water glasses. Only at CG's can you obtain your favorite imported beer, party supplies, mixes, and a variety of nuts. By the way, don't forget a gift for your favorite hostess. Visit CG's, conveniently located in Talladega at the corner of Howard and West.
A death is a troubling time for any family. Talladega Funeral Home offers dignity, respect, professionalism, commitment, and fairness to all families in need. We listen carefully. We know that some of us find great comfort in traditions, and we work tirelessly to honor those traditions. Our professional team gets to know each and every family member to help each and every individual remember, share, and ultimately move towards healing. Contact Brittany Boozer at Talladega Funeral Home today, 256-362-0111. Talladega Funeral Home. We care because every life has a story.
Have you tried one of these? It's so good. Man, I can't believe we haven't done this before. Oh, wow, look at that.
Want a bite? Your agent! Do the jingle! Do the jingle!
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, guys.
Do it again, do it again. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In my office.
State Farm.
I think we're good. Going wide.
State Farm agents are there when you need them.
Wow.
We're getting phone calls on the air and off there. Is it a full moon out there tonight, folks?
It'll be all right.
I hope so. Anything you want to talk about, folks, we'll talk about it.
Bring it
I
on.
wish I had time to explain everything in the world to you, but we'll take it a week at a time. Anything you want to ask about, we will be glad to discuss it. Don't forget Rehab First at McGuffey Healthcare. Any kind of rehab you want, they can take care of it for you. They've been long-time sponsors, and they can talk to you about rheumatoid arthritis, some things you can do to help you with that. They're getting all kind of response when they have people that go there. When they leave, they write them nice letters thanking them. It says here, you have the best therapy staff I've ever seen. Overall rating is excellent. And when a person who has been in your care, in your service, or uses your service and will take time to write a nice letter recommending you, then you know that they're very satisfied with the service they're getting. But Rehab First is there 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Admission 7 days a week, so you don't have to wait till one day next week to get admitted if you have some kind of a special need. They have nutritional advice, private rooms, and also they have long-term care in case you have someone that needs, like me, that can't find their phone when they're talking on it, that needs special services. They have long-term care.
Go up there for just a day or two, I believe.
Just go there and rest a little bit. But we appreciate Rehab First and all the folks there and what they mean to so many throughout the state. A lot of people tell me they're going there from Gaston, from different parts of the state, because we're talking about them and telling you about what kind of service they have. They're using the facility when they need it. We appreciate that. We'll talk about other things in a little while if we have time. But right now we want to go to our special guest, David Milam. David, a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes, don't it?
Yes, it does.
You had a clue.
I think Obamacare Affordable Health Act is one of those examples of a lot of stuff went on behind the scenes.
I know. Before we get into this, let's take just a moment or two and tell the folks, in case they don't know you, you've been gone from Talladega a long time, who your folks were, where you was raised up. You ran a little country store out there at Bernie Station area. Look in that middle camera, or this camera right here.
This one over here.
And tell them who you are and who your folks were.
I'm David Milam. I grew up here. I went to Winterboro. My dad was Claude Milam. He ran a store, Milam Grocery, out off Allison Mill Road in Talladega. And in fact, I've got a picture of it somewhere, and I've threatened to frame it, but I've never done. I should, and put a statement under it that everything David learned about business, he learned right here. So, anyway, I went after the military, went to Alabama. I have an MBA from there and a CPA certificate and a certified financial planner, and had a career with R.J. Reynolds, and thankfully they're still able to pay pensions, and I get one of those. And I've had now nearly 30 years of CPA and financial planning experience, a business in the Atlanta area, and I've chosen to, I sold a portion of that business, gave me an opportunity to move something to Talladega, so I've opened an office at 300 South Court Street.
That's right across the street from Hank Fanning's office.
Yep, right there, and right just off of the square. And we're going to do tax returns and financial planning, and hopefully build enough business there to maybe begin to migrate the business from Atlanta to here. But the Atlanta business grew to a pretty sizable business, and therefore it's kind of hard. I'm not going to let people down. I enjoy my work. I enjoy helping people, and really it's all about helping people anymore, not about the money. And so we'll have to find out how we're going to do that. But currently I spend some time every week in Talladega, available for appointments there. And obviously I've got staff both in Talladega and in the Atlanta area. And with the technology we have today, it doesn't matter where we are here, wherever that is. And we can help you out with what your needs are. And we can visit with you personally, we can visit with you remotely, we can visit with you by Skype or camera. But we can do all of those things. But we certainly would like to help anyone who needs it with their tax returns, tax planning, and investment and financial planning needs.
David, and we're not here to badmouth President Obama. A lot of people accuse him of this Obamacare, and I've said many times that it may be his
demise.
Well, it could be, but he didn't do this by himself, folks. Congress and the Senate, they had to vote on it. He may have recommended it and then got put in because he wanted it, but we're not here to badmouth the president, the Congress. We're here to talk about tonight what's fixing to happen in 2015. A lot of you have already experienced some problems with health care because of the Obamacare Act, affordable care, whatever you want to call it. David is involved in investment. He can help you. You have, the banks are not, I mean, we're not here to badmouth the banks, but the banks are not paying anything, 0.25%, 0.5%, whatever. Maybe some banks are paying up to 1%. A lot of people out there have money that they would like to invest. David is here tonight to share with you what he can do. He can advise you. But he wants to talk about what is fixing to happen in the year 2015 is the tax going up and how it's going to affect most folks in the business world. David, is this basically?
That's pretty much it. But remember what I do, and say again, is financial planning. Whether that's your taxes, your investments, your insurance need. Mama died, estate, how do I handle the will, how do I go to probate court, who's the best for this, who's the best for that. That's what we do. And so knowing how to address the Obamacare law as it relates to a tax return is critical to our business. And of course, this is the first year, and Larry's saying next year. No, it's this year.
2015.
2015 was Larry's thinking. 2014 it happened, and you're going to be dealing with it in the next few weeks.
Right.
It's already happened. So, and that's what we're going to do. And if I can, Larry, I'm going to show a short video that sort of summarizes the Affordable Care Act. And again, we're not doing. This is not political. I'm going to tell you about the act. I'm going to tell you how it affects your personal tax return, and that's my job. And then and how you need to know it's going to affect you, and then we'll talk about other issues, that might roll into that. So if we can,
And we've got the film ready.
Yeah, it's
We're ready whenever you are.
It's presented by the Kaiser Corporation, so here it is. Just watch this and get a little introduction.
Well, it's finally happening. After years of drama on Capitol Hill, a Supreme Court case, a presidential election, and a Mayan apocalypse that could have stopped it dead in its tracks but didn't, the marquee elements of the Affordable Care Act, sometimes called Obamacare, are about to kick in. And big changes are coming to health insurance in 2014. In the next few minutes, you'll get a pretty good lay of the land by once again watching your fellow Americans, the U-Tunes, find their way through the system. There are 4 main ways nearly all of us will experience health care once the health reform law goes fully into effect. About half of us will get insurance through our jobs, just like today. About a third will get covered by the government through Medicare and Medicaid. About 1 in 10 will buy insurance themselves. And unfortunately, another 30 million of us or so, just under 1 in 10, still may not have coverage at all. But let's begin in the workplace. Many Americans are already covered by their employers, and for them, not a whole lot will change. There will be some new advantages, though, like caps on how much you have to pay out of pocket, and free preventative care. The bigger changes are coming for those who work for larger companies but aren't covered now. That's because the government is going to require companies with 50 or more employees to cover full-time workers or pay a penalty. So, more workers may find themselves covered. Smaller employers won't face the same penalties for refusing to buy insurance, but they'll be encouraged to do so. The government will be setting up special marketplaces to make it easier for small employers to take the plunge. Some will be offered temporary tax breaks if they do, and unlike now, insurers can't inflate prices if some employees are sick. So, many of us will be getting covered at work. A lot of us will be covered with help from the government, just like today. Not much will change for seniors on Medicare. The law has already started helping with prescription drugs and better preventative care, and that will continue. Medicaid, on the other hand, is expanding to cover more of us, especially poor adults, many of whom aren't eligible today. If your income is low, Medicaid will cover you, most likely in a private insurance plan. But there's a catch. The Supreme Court ruled that governors and legislatures of each state should decide whether or not to be part of expanding Medicaid. In states that get on board, the feds will cover almost all the cost. But for those who don't, you may be left with the same options you have today if you're poor. So you'll want to check out your state's decision if you think you might qualify for Medicaid. Even with employer coverage and the expansion of Medicaid, a lot of us will still be left out. For those not covered or who find their work coverage too expensive, a new way to buy insurance on our own will be popping up everywhere. They're called health insurance marketplaces, though they may have a fancier name than that in your state. The health insurance marketplace is like a virtual insurance mega mall. Here you'll find private insurers competing for your business, and you'll be able to pick out how much coverage you want and how much you want to pay for it. From cheaper, high-deductible bronze plans to more expensive platinum plans. Still, all plans will cover a comprehensive set of services like hospital and doctor visits, maternity care, mental health care, and drugs. Most everything any of us need, at least when it comes to medical care. As with Medicaid, not all governors are on board to set up these marketplaces, but the feds will open their own in those states, and so you probably won't notice much of a difference. One big advantage of buying insurance through these new marketplaces is that the federal government will provide most people with a tax credit to make insurance more affordable if you don't have any other options and your income is below a certain level. In fact, most people buying on their own will be eligible for a tax credit and won't have to pay the whole premium themselves. And the marketplaces will make sure that insurance companies operate fairly under strict rules. They'll have to offer everyone insurance even if they're sick, and they won't be able to charge more for pre-existing conditions. Unlike today, men and women will pay the same price. And prices for older people will come down, while young people will pay more. To keep costs down for young people, though, they'll be able to stay on their parents' plans until 26, and buy low-budget catastrophic plans until they're 30. Of course, all these changes still don't mean insurance will come cheap. Most people buying their own coverage will end up paying less with the new health insurance tax credits. But some people will have to pay more, even though many of them will be getting better and more secure insurance. So let's be realistic. Not everyone's going to run out and buy insurance. Some might say, hold on a minute. If I can't be turned down or charged more, why not just wait until I get sick or injured to buy insurance at all? Well, first, you can only get coverage during special enrollment periods, so if you snooze, you may lose. And second, thanks to something called the individual mandate, if you're not insured, you pay a fine, making this option seem not nearly so clever. Still, if you really can't afford to buy in and can't get insurance anywhere else, the government will waive the penalty, so don't panic. By now, you've probably noticed a lot more people will be getting a lot more coverage. Where will the money to pay for that come from? Taxes. Many of them targeted at the health industry itself, even tanning services. Yes, individuals will pay too, mostly the wealthiest Americans, who will be paying more into Medicare. Also, hospitals and insurance companies participating in Medicare will get paid somewhat less. Not painless, but somebody's got to pay. So, as Americans prepare for 2014, how will you be covered? How would you like to be? Now's the time to figure it out and get on the path to setting yourself up for the best insurance at the best price. After all, who wouldn't want that?
Planning a get-together, sporting event, or special occasion, let CG's help make the event more enjoyable. CG's can advise you on a favorite champagne or special wine imported from all over the world, as well as from New York and California. Perhaps you'd rather choose a muscadine wine from Alabama. CG's also has a nice selection of the latest in stemless wine glasses or champagne and water glasses. Only at CG's can you obtain your favorite imported beer, party supplies, mixes, and a variety of nuts. By the way, don't forget a gift for your favorite hostess. Visit CG's, conveniently located in Talladega at the corner of Howard and West.
A death is a troubling time for any family. Talladega Funeral Home offers dignity, respect, professionalism, commitment, and fairness to all families in need. We listen carefully. We know that some of us find great comfort in traditions, and we work tirelessly to honor those traditions. Our professional team gets to know each and every family member to help each and every individual remember, share, and ultimately move towards healing. Contact Brittany Boozer at Talladega Funeral Home today, 256-362-0111. Talladega Funeral Home. We care because every life has a story.
Have you tried one of these? This is so good. Man, I can't believe we haven't done this before. Oh, wow, look at that.
Want a bite? Your agent! Do the jingle! Do the jingle!
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, guys.
Do it again, do it again.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there!
In my office.
State Farm.
I think we're good.
State Farm agents are there when you need them.
Good video.
Yes.
Very informative, David.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
This is tax season, so what can you do to help the folks beat the, not have to pay no more now?
But the purpose of the video is to give you some idea, to remind you of what all you may have already known. But I assume I never assumed that. I'll go ahead and go from showing you what we're talking about, and from there we're going to discuss how you're going to have to respond to it on your personal tax return this year. Remember, we're advisors and financial planners and CPAs, but we're not here to enroll you in Obamacare. I'm sure if you've done that, you probably have had some assistance and you probably got that step done. If you did, you're going to, and if it's necessary, you're going to have to respond to that on your personal tax return, and look at where you fit into the requirements and whether you have gotten what they call a shared responsibility. You got to pay a shared responsibility payment on your tax return, and whether you've already been granted some subsidy, and if you have, how do you report that? if you've been granted, I don't know if the engineer get this, but if you're granted a subsidy, it'll come out on a form called a 1095A, and you will be given that, and that'll have to be used in order to prepare your tax return, whether you do it yourself or whether you have assistance.
Okay, even a short form would have to use that, or
well,
just...
the only if you've gotten a subsidy, you have to use a 1040 or a 1040A. You can't even use the EZ.
And when you say a subsidy, that's...
I mean, they've applied for it, and during the year, they've already gotten money during 2014. You've already gotten money to go towards your supplement on your insurance coverage.
Okay.
And then that money is going to have to be reckoned. And you told them that you made $25,000 or $35,000 or something, and then when you file your return, you said, "Whoops, I made $45,000," or you made $18,000, and that difference will be reconciled with all sorts of documents, a shared responsibility worksheet that shows you how to calculate the number of months you recovered and whether or not you have enough, and based on your income, which they got the poverty guidelines income. Here's one of these worksheets. My staff will fill it out just to show you, put the number of months you had, your zeros or one, whether you had coverage in a particular month, to go down to calculate the penalty. And of course, most of you probably heard that the penalty is only $95, so don't worry about it. It's not that big a deal if you didn't have coverage. But if you read that closely, it's $95 or 1% of the income as they calculate it, not as you calculate it, as they calculate it. And so a lot of times 1% is going to be a whole lot more than I mean, you're going to be calculating 1% of something much greater than $9,500, and therefore the 1% is going to be the larger number.
$9,500 or $95?
$9,500. 1% of that is $95.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so and the and the coverage is based on household income above some filing threshold, which a threshold you may have heard about is some multiple of the federal poverty level. For instance, if there's 6 people in your household, then the federal poverty level for that is $31,970. But you start to have to pay part of it at $47,955 if you have that much income. And you don't get any subsidy at all after $111,000. So it's a convoluted process. I've told most people that if you get right down to the basics of it, it's going to cost you $50 to $100 more for your tax return, because it's like 3 or so subschedules calculating a payment that's going to go on your tax return on the second page. I've got some examples of there, like if you were insured all year, it shows that on page 2 of your tax return, line 61, there's no penalty if you were insured all year. Okay, but let's see if I got that one right. Yeah. And I've got, if you were not insured all year, okay, and then these are examples that we calculate out. On your 1040 on page 61, if you were not insured all year and your family income was $100,000, your penalty would be $899, not $95. Okay, so a lot of people are going to be shocked when they heard that, and then they are completing their tax return, and there's this item on the back of it that just either added to your liability or took a chunk out of your refund. So that's what you could expect.
I remember when this thing was being talked about, Nancy Pelosi said, "Don't worry about what's in there.
Yeah,
let's just pass it, and then we'll try to find out what's
read
in
it." Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, that's right. And that's when you do actual examples and you see what it's going to take, and that way back when I started this, started doing CPA taxes in '84. We were still doing it by hand. Thank God we don't have to do it by hand now, because we got computer software that that will do most of this for you. But I have a rule, and I think it's a good one, and I think you'll appreciate this, that me and my staff need to know how to do it with the forms by hand first.
Right.
And then we will go into entering the data into a computerized program and causing it to create an appropriate tax return. But if you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to check it. And I'll talk a minute about exemptions. But anyway, I wanted to make sure that we don't run out of time without me showing you this is a good, no insurance, full year coverage. Then there's nothing on the line 61. And then this is an example of the health coverage exemption where it explains, it's form called 8965, will have to be attached to your return to show you that you are claiming an exemption from being required to file pay the tax or the penalty. No insurance partial exemption. A good example of that one, if you had a partial exemption, let's see how the backup sheet goes. It shows that the person was covered certain months. I don't know if the engineer could see this, but certain months the person was covered, and certain months the person was not. Our person's name is Mickey Mouse. But anyway, and with only being partially covered August through December, he ended up with a penalty of $524 for not having full coverage for the year. And that number is calculated on that form 8965, which again is
There's going to be a lot of people
going to be attached to the tax return.
There's going to be a lot of people shocked when they start getting their forms filled out.
Yeah, I don't. If a person was used to completing their own form because they didn't have a whole lot, like just a W-2 and maybe some itemized deductions, or maybe not even that, and they get a hold of this, I think they're going to. I think the practitioners are going to be bombarded. Because obviously it's possible to work through it. It's also a concern for us and do this for a living that there's going to be a lot of correspondence between the IRS, some issues, items. It isn't going to match their systems. In other words, it's going to mess up my summer, and I don't like for it to mess up my summer. I like to get these things done and not hear from the IRS, but get it done right the first time. We think that with our professional tax software, that will happen. We will get them done. And even with me, as you say, as I struggled through these, this is like that CPA way back there the first time he ever saw a 1040, because these are forms that we have not seen. And in fact, the IRS has only released these. In fact, the engineer might can see this is a good example.
It won't pick up on the camera.
But anyway, it says do not file right here. It's still not a final. Here it is, January the 11th, and it's not a final return. But this is an example of, let's see what that one was, a 1040 EZ. If you got a penalty, now this is not somebody who got a subsidy, but he has a penalty because he didn't have insurance, and it's going to show up right on his EZ at $899. Most people filing an EZ are not expecting that kind of a hit on that form.
David, we got about a minute and a half.
Let's see.
Somebody get you back and talk about your investments.
There's a couple of other things, then I think that there's a form 8962 for premium tax credit. You'll find out about that if you paid it.
Lord.
And
it's going to be one more mess.
But anyway, we want to make sure tax preparation is our specialty. Do over 500 returns a year. Financial planning, IRAs, 401k rollovers. We've done investments for about 25 of total client portfolios of $25 million, and we're located at 300 Court Street South, Talladega. So,
David, I appreciate it. This is a mess.
If Larry let me, I'll come back and do this again.
We'll have to have David back and talk about what he does for his investments. A lot of people will be interested in investing their money. Don't forget, the Old Pass will be at the First Baptist Church Saturday night, January the 17th. We got to go in just about, 30 more seconds? David, welcome to Talladega. We're proud to have you back home.
I appreciate it. I'm glad I've got an opportunity.
You and your lovely, beautiful wife.
Yeah, I wish you.
Teresa.
If Teresa was here, it'd be a much greater show.
No, you're doing a great job. I appreciate you taking time to share with the folks.
All right. Well,
have you got a phone number right quick?
Yeah.
Sorry, got to go.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Call from Hank Fannin's office. See you next week for another edition.